As someone who has interviewed over 40 guests, here are three mistakes that I generally see and three ways that you can avoid them. Hi, my name is Lola Opataya. I'm the host of the Journey of the Art podcast. If you're seeing me for the first time, hello. All right, so let's get into those mistakes. The first one is that people generally treat a podcast as a Zoom call and not a media coverage. You have to think about a podcast as a digital footprint. So when people look you up, the first thing that will likely come up in the video section on Google is a video of you. And so if you are appearing without enough light in the room, or your hair isn't combed, or you're wearing a crumpled shirt, or your voice projects a level of um, fear and uncertainty, that's the impression that people get of you. The podcast is the media, and perception matters a lot in media. So you want to make sure that you're in a well-lit room. You know, you've run a comb through your hair, you've put on some makeup if you put on makeup, you are not wearing a crumpled shirt. You know, you have the right amount of energy, because energy also matters a lot when you're on a podcast. And I can always tell when people come on the show and they're well prepared, they come with a lot of energy. It really changes the game. There's so much light in the conversation, and you kind of set the host up for a good show. It's much more than your appearance. Sometimes it's also what's going on your inside. You want to make sure that you come with the right amount of energy. If you want to see some examples of what those episodes look like, you'll find them in the comments. The second thing is that they don't understand the economy of words and the power of a viral moment. And by this, I mean that they derail the conversation. The host has asked you a question and you want to answer that question. It's as simple as that. So say, for example, I asked you, what is your favorite season? And then you say, oh, my favorite season is summer, because you know there are a lot of parties in summer, there are barbecues, and there are different kinds of meat that I like. But my favorite one is beef. You've derailed the conversation. The whole point is what season you like, not the meat. Maybe that was not the best example, but you want to make sure that you're answering the question and you're not derailing the point. Every question is a moment that could appear on social media. So you want to have a single train of thought. If you can think about it that way. Yes, edits can be made, and it can be made to look good post-production, but it's always best when you understand the economy of words. Stick to the point, answer the question, and leave it at that. Again, I'll leave some examples in the comments of moments where I asked a question and the guest just answered right away. The last thing is that people don't come prepared and they lose the moment where they could have been a subject matter expert. I can always tell when I'm interviewing someone and they're not prepared. You can tell by the way they answer the question, in the roundabout way that they answer the question. You can tell in the way they suddenly perk up, as if they've just realized, oh, I'm the subject matter expert here. That's essentially what you are when you come on a podcast. You're there to answer a question that the guest, or questions that the guest has on a certain topic or on a certain work of art. So you have to come with that in mind when you come on to a show, and make sure that your answer portrays you as someone who understands their work, as someone who understands the show. So a few things you can do is make sure that you study the show, understand the line of questions that the host might likely ask you, and then that'll give you a sense of some things that you can say. Know your work well. Take a moment to, if it helps, write down a few things about certain aspects of your work, and that helps you to be in a position where you're confidently speaking to your work and things around your work processes and things like that. Again, I will leave examples of guests who I thought understood the moment in the comment section. All right, so these are three examples. Let me know if any of these helped. And if you want to find out more, you can sign up for my newsletter in the description box. And I'll see you in the next video.